How to prepare for CAT from February. And February is a lovely time to start because it gives you enough time and does not give you too much time. Sometimes you can start way early with 15 months time. We can become very complacent even before the real deal begins. And February is ideal. The other massive advantage February has going for it is February is right now. And now is always the best time to start any new project. And February is right now. It's a beautiful time. So grab it. You don't get an opportunity. You can keep waiting for everything to fall in place to start a new project, or you can say, look, I'm going to start with this and then see where it takes me. And so have a bias towards starting things off and showing up and doing the real thing. Don't keep deferring. It's a lovely time. Why is Feb a good window? Why is a Feb a good time to start? It gives you a beautiful window to learn several things from first principles. What do I mean by first principles? If you take geometry, and sum of three angles of a triangle is 180 degrees. Almost all of us have learned that. But I can tell you that less than 5% of people know the proof for that. So take a detour and learn the proof for that. So that can be a wonderful mechanism, a wonderful place where you can run through and glide through and learn something new without worrying about having to complete syllabus that day, that week. So you get to learn if you start early in unhurried fashion. And so otherwise, if you start in June, you're always scrambling to cover topics and there is pressure. And a lot of times I see that students learn 5 topics and then when they come back to look at the first topic, everything has flown out of their head. That's because you're not revisiting them frequently enough. You have to learn with a spiral in mind. Just like you do topic 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, revisit 1, 2, 3. Do 6, 7, 8, revisit 4, 5. Do 9, 10, revisit 1, 2, 5, 6, 7. So you have to keep revisiting for the ideas to get consolidated. And starting early gives you the luxury of doing all that. Starting early also gives you a beautiful buffer. What do I mean by a buffer? You have your placements coming in September, or you're going to change your job and you need to prepare for an interview, or the India-England test series. India-Australia test series was fantastic. The England-India test series also turns out to be fabulous, and you have to follow the third and fourth test because it's thrilling. You can say, okay, I'm going to do that also. So it gives you a buffer, and that's very crucial. Don't be the school guy who pushes everything to the last minute. Be the boring guy who learns from first principles, who takes in some pleasure in planning, preparing, and go on an unhurried drive till at least June, July, after which you can crank up intensity and your mind is ready for that. Well, think about the 3 pillars of preparation. And I'm a big bore about this beautiful format to prepare with. Whenever you're preparing for anything, the first part should be the fundamentals, the absolute basics, where you get the ideas correct, you get the concepts right, you get clarity on what you're learning. That's very crucial because that sets up how high you can go and how quick you can run later on. The next part is the drill or the practice. This is a competitive exam. So you cannot say, look, I understand geometry beautifully and I can go from first principles and derive everything and then solve any question. You have to know in radius is a plus b minus h by 2. And you will get to know that if you solve 4 questions, plugging in that very formula. So you need to automate formulae, automate processes, automate how your hand moves. So guys who have done several questions, they don't pause and think when the solving part. They look at a question, they have to figure out how to solve it. After which the solving part is mechanical. And you need to have that buffer of being able to automate processes because otherwise you'll get burnt out during the exam hall. So this is very crucial. The last part, of course, is mocks. You need to know and benchmark vis-a-vis the real deal. And you need to do tougher questions. You need to build the stamina to hang in there for 3 hours. This year was 2 hours, but it's likely to be 3 hours. So how can you hang in there intensely and manage the 3 sections, that workload, looking at the overall picture? That of course happens. You need to have buffer for all 3. They will collapse and overlap with each other. You can't say I'll take my first mock in October. You have to start taking mocks by April. Not meaningful, great mocks, but still mocks nevertheless. You can't say I've done all the fundamentals. I won't relearn fundas in September. You'll be learning as much as till a week before the exam. That also happens. We are revisiting, revising. But their first phase is dominated by this, second by this, third by this. Do not bypass fundamentals. How should you prepare? What are the other ideas that you need to keep in mind? Read a lot. Read tons of stuff. And so read irreverently. Read from magazines, newspapers, blogs, articles, books, novels, poetry, doesn't matter. Read with great variety in terms of length, in terms of style, in terms of source, in terms of topic, in terms of everything. Read tons of stuff. Your mind has to get very comfortable with the idea of just picking up something and reading. You cannot afford to get drained out by reading, because the last few years have clearly said the reading comprehension aspect, they have amped it up. It's no longer fact based. It's heavy duty inference and understanding based. If you get even slightly tired reading, you're dead. So you need to get comfortable in terms of energy reading. And stay focused. Stay focused on the idea that you're preparing for CAT. That's important. More than that, stay micro-focused. Achieve local objectives. You're saying, look, I'm going to prepare for an hour and a half for percentages today. In that hour and a half, don't have any distraction. Don't prepare with your WhatsApp chat on and something on Hotstar. Do small, tiny chunks, but do them with intense application and without distraction. So the local focus is what I'm talking about here. Okay? Keep at it. Very important. During this journey, there'll be several times where most of us feel like, look, I'm not cut out for this. I don't think I have it in me to score 98. This is simply not working out. I spent another 100 hours from my last mock to this one, and my score has gone backwards. There are several times when we do things, several times we measure them. Very often in life it happens that the measurement does not correspond with the improvement. It happens, and it will happen in your CAT journey as well. You might have become way more comfortable with reading passages, but your RC score could go back 20%. That doesn't mean what you have done is wrong. You need to have the confidence and wherewithal to say, I'm doing the right things. It will show. I'll hang in there. The impact will come. This is going to happen for LRDI, VARC and Quant, and for the overall paper as well. So you need to have the confidence to say, I'll keep doing the right things. They will fall in place. You need to keep at it. For all of this, it is very important that you enjoy yourself. If this is an onerous task that you have to drum up energy for and then turn up and read, then you're going to lose steam sooner or later. You've got to say, okay, I'm going to read a lovely article that Bharat has posted. I'm going to continue with that beautiful novel that I had picked up. I'm going to solve one Sudoku puzzle because I don't feel like doing an LRDI set today. I'm going to just browse through something interesting in mathematics because I don't feel like writing, but it's a lot of fun. So I'm going to do that today and enjoy myself for the next 70 minutes. That is the attitude you should carry, because this whole process can be immensely rewarding from the learning aspect alone, not necessarily from the result and outcome. We're all doing this in order to achieve something. I want to clear this exam, get shortlisted, do well in the interviews, and get a final admit, do well in MBA. Those several objectives are important. I'm not denying that. But we cannot be governed by just that objective on a day-to-day basis. One, it is far away. Two, there are plenty of uncertainties. And three, that can increase the stress. Make sure you're having fun in the process. That will take you places. Fine. Wonderful, guys. Best wishes. As ever, any queries you have, post them. We'll get back to you.